Hey, welcome to day 981 of What You Up To Now. Sharon Horne-Ellstrom here, documenting the journey as I transition from the brick and mortar corporate world of business to the online world. Spent over a quarter century in corporate America working for some of the coolest companies on the planet, both privately owned as well as publicly traded companies, some of the biggest uh, big name companies in the world. Don't share that or the name of the companies very often, but worked for some really amazing organizations, which gave me an incredibly cool foundation in how different businesses and industries actually work. Not how they say they work, not how other people say they work, not how the government says they work, but how they actually work, how things actually get done in different industries. So when I had the opportunity to do something different in 2017, I jumped at the chance. As part of my divorce, I had the opportunity to stop doing all the things I was doing. Well, I had the requirement of stopping doing the things I was doing and got to look at my life and say, okay, well, what do I want to do now? I'm old, but I'm not old enough to retire. I'm old and experienced in a lot of different things. What do I want to do? What do I want to explore? What do I want to learn? What do I want to follow my curiosity on? And it, of course, was the online world, the internet. It's something that I'd seen on the outskirts of what I was doing, but never really had any direct participation in, or very little, very minimal experience with and participation in. So I thought, I'm gonna check this out. I'm gonna figure it out. So I did a bunch of stuff, and early on, made so many mistakes. So many of the rookie mistakes that everybody makes when they come online. Overcomplicating things, number one. Not following shiny objects. Yeah, following shiny object syndrome. Thinking I had to learn and know and do everything myself. Things like that. So lots of wrong trails. But after a couple of years of playing and messing around with stuff, I figured out a lot of what works for me and what doesn't work for me. And that's what it's all about. It's figuring out what's right for you, because there's a billion different routes, or a million, or hundreds or thousands of different ways you can achieve what it is that you want through another person's system, through figuring it out yourself, through all different means. There's a different success path for each and every one of us. So it's up to us to find out what is the success path for me. What is the success path for you? Nobody can spoon feed that to us. We can follow other people's systems and trainings and teachings and shortcut portions of our journey, but our journey will never be just like anyone else's, because we're not like anyone else. So today on the Get Up and Go Challenge, day 5, this is the 4th time I've done the 30-day Get Up and Go Challenge, or 30-day plus Get Up and Go Challenge, since COVID-19 hit. And I'm pulling pieces of the previous ones out and changing other things up. And the order I talk about things in and what comes up and what doesn't is different each and every time. And it's not like I have a canned 10 or 30-day challenge that I just do over and over and over again. It's different every time. Now, it's also available all the time. Yeah, on the Get Up and Go Challenge page, it's a free Facebook page. You can go anytime, anyone can go anytime and look at that page. It's a public page, and see any of the previous challenges. Now, they're not in order in the Get Up and Go Challenge page. They're just historically, most recent to oldest in a big stream. So there's at least 189 videos on there. It could be more, but I know there's at least 180 some anyway, of past daily Get Up and Go challenges. So you could go and you could listen to those. You could search by topic or search by something you're interested in. You could find the videos that apply to that. I actually do that in my own as I'm setting up the units. But if you want them in order and in units by, like chapters, it's like books or chapters in order of how they were done, and day 1, day 2, day 3 through 30 or 30 plus, then you can go to the units section on the Get Up and Go Challenge private group page. It's a private group page. You have to answer the questions in order to get in. Why? Because I don't want you to spam us. I don't want you to spam the people that are in that group. It's a very select private group where we can share more intimate challenges. We can mastermind. We can work together on it. So we're not just letting anybody in. If you want to come in and just spam people in the group, it's not going to happen. You won't get in. And if you spam anybody in the group, guess what? Boom, your history. No warnings. You're just gone. You'll just be blocked from the group. You won't be able to have access to the material. Why? Because nobody wants a spammer, right? Nobody wants a spammer in there. So you could go and watch the units in order. It's always in there. So today's topic was the 7 key areas of our life: physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, financial, relationships, and contribution. And yesterday we prioritized those. What's most important to you? Because it doesn't matter what's important to me. It matters what's important to you. And then today we're rating those because what we measure matters. Now, certain things like an area and aspect of our life, how do we measure that? How do we rate that? Because rating is a measure. It's a subjective thing that we apply an objective number to, so that we can track over time and see if we're trending up or we're trending down, if we're going in the direction we want to go or if we're going away from the direction we want to go. So I think in April I started doing this, where I would look at each of the main areas of my life and I would apply it a number, a number 1 through 10. So I want to keep it simple, and it's so subjective. How do you apply it across the board? And you can complicate it if you want. Say we're ranking our physical well-being. Well, you could take your physical well-being and you could break it into categories: movement or exercise or activity, nutrition, sleep. You could measure different, your BMI, your weight. You could put all those things in, and you could put a number from 1 through 10 on each of those. You could take the average of those and have that be your number. You can make it super complicated. I say, think about your physical well-being. Think about those things: your energy, your activity, your movement, your exercise. Do you do any exercise? Like, if I looked at myself 10 years ago and I had to rate myself physically, I would have gotten like a 0, a point. It would have been a decimal point of 1. It would have been a fraction of 1, because I was terrible. Physical, mental, emotional, sleep, consumption habits, everything was really in the tank. And it's when I had my sudden cardiac arrest. Why? Because I was paying no attention to my physical well-being. So how do you rate that? How do you rank it? You can make it super complicated, or you can keep it simple. I say scale of 1 to 10, give it a number. How do you feel? How do you think? How do you believe about it right now, today? Whatever that is, whatever that number is. And you might say, I'm a 10. I am in perfect physical condition, shape. I have all the energy I need. Everything about my physical well-being is exactly the way I want it to be. I'm a 10. That's up to you. And there's nobody else that can judge or decide that. Only you can. But what we measure is the thing that we pay attention to, and therefore we're telling ourselves that it's important enough to figure out a way to measure it, and then look at it over time and see how it's changing to determine if we're going in the right direction or not. It's telling ourselves that it's a priority for us, and we need to pay attention to it, because if we don't pay attention, at least a little bit of attention to each of these areas and aspects of our life, something will happen in our lives to get our attention. I wasn't paying any attention to my physical well-being, and guess what? Something happened in my life that dead stopped me in my tracks, literally, and made me pay attention to that. And that's not a good spot to be in. It's like when we get an illness or a physical an illness or a disease diagnosis. It isn't necessarily the end for us. It's just the wake-up call to say, all right, what you've been doing up until now has created this result. If you want a different result, all of what you've been doing needs to be looked at and changed and considered, what to keep, what to throw out. You got to throw out all the stuff that's bad for you and put in more of the stuff that's good for you. And those things show up in all different ways in different areas and aspects of our life. Financially, if we're not paying enough attention to our finances and our money, and something will happen to make us pay attention. We might lose our job. We might lose our business. We might take on a bad business partner. We might make some kind of a mistake. And it's to show us that we're off who we're supposed to be in that particular area or aspect of our life. Same is true of relationships. If we don't pay attention to our relationships, boom, relationship over. Why do I use these examples? Because I've had experience in all of them. So that was our tool, our action item, and our activity for today. And our topic for today was kind of all combined in one. What we rate is what's important to us, and what we take the time and energy to think about. It doesn't take a lot of time to write this down and then, hey, how am I feeling about this today, and dating it. It doesn't take a lot of time, but it does take some of our conscious attention and energy, and by doing that, we're telling ourselves that it's important to us. It's important that we know how we're doing in each of these areas and aspects of our lives. So that was today's Get Up and Go challenge. Out in the Boondocks was our Supersize Your Business idiom for today, which reminds me, of course, of the song Down in the Boondocks from 1965 and kind of makes me laugh. If I could, I would have put the music on the video because it's a fun song. It's more about being from the wrong side of the tracks or being from a different part of town than your love interest than it is living far away or remotely or being away from a population. But it still, uses boondocks, and people are like, what the heck is boondocks? So, and how can I use that to improve my life or to improve my business and my economic situation? How can I use that? How could I possibly think of location maybe, and make that an aspect that impacts positively my work life, my business life. So, fun challenge today was a fun one because it's about finding a pile of junk and taking junk, adding your imagination, and creating something fun. So I'm actually going to do that today. I don't know my granddaughter today. These things are a lot more fun with my granddaughter. I noticed the fun challenge was a lot more fun when I knew I had my granddaughter around every day. And we had a lot more fun when she was around every day. But more lighthearted fun. Now I have to, like everybody else, look for my own fun. So it's actually probably benefiting me more now that I don't see her every day, that I have to consciously, which is part of the purpose of the whole exercise, look for something fun in every day. So that's what I will do today. I have lots of piles of junk, as is indicated by my background and the clutter in that. I am not I am akin to piles of stuff and junk. So I will find a pile of junk and I will create an invention or something cool out of it and share it on the page today. Now I've said it twice, so for sure I have to do it. Sometimes I want to do something and I get sidetracked, but today I don't get sidetracked because I've committed twice that I'll do that and share it on the Pajama Grandma Fun Challenge page. All right, have an amazing day. That's all I've got today. I've got a ton of stuff to work on, I guess as per usual, but I'm also reprioritizing and reshuffling some things based on a discussion I have with my daughter about impotent goals and how much energy we have toward life and everything and all these aspects and areas of our life based on where we are now, but more so based on where do we want to go, because it's where we want to go that gets us out of bed in the morning. It's where we want to go. It's our longer term goals and objectives and things that we're working for and what we want to create that gives us the motivation to get up and go and work toward those things. All right, have an awesome day. I will be with you tomorrow. If I can help you in any way, ask in the comments below. Otherwise, have an absolutely amazing day.